Live on stage. The sound
of Orlando.
So, is they ready? The sound
of Orlando. You know.
What's going on, party people? What is going on? It is a Friday night, man. You're back with your boy, your mans, your brother, your friend, your peoples, your family. This is your boy, Rome, live and direct from the heart of Orlando. This is the Sound of Orlando show. And before we get started tonight, I would like to say thank you for everyone supporting and going out and buying your ass a Sound of Orlando shirt. I'm only making 100 of these, and then it's off to the next. I'd like to say thank you for all the supporters out there that are, supporting the show. The people that I've talked to today, man, really, confirm and give you reasons on why the show needs to continue to happen. It is a voice for the people. We are talking to our city in a real way. You never realize who you impact until you realize who the hell you are and why you're here on this planet. And these are one of those moments where we're all kind of figuring out what it is we do good and should we continue doing it. And this is one of those moments, man. The shirt was made on a whim, and now it is. I can't even keep one for more than a day. I've completely sold out on this batch today, so very happy about that. If you want a shirt, like I said, I'm making only 100 of them, and we'll be on to the next batch of new things after that. But for those that got the shirt, man, I want to say thank you. We appreciate you and continue to support the Sound of Orlando show. Now, we had a great guest on last night by the name of Sick One. We talked about a lot of big things that we would like to see in our city. I think it begins there, talking about, the visions and the ideas of how we can bring the city together. We're all still kind of figuring it out. So all the people that are tuning in tonight, please, on the comment feeds, if you got ideas of how we can bring the city together without being a complete jerk, and you look at everybody as a fellow teammate, even though you don't hang out with them, they represent your city. How the hell can we all bring this thing together, throw a big-ass, huge event that represents not only the musical artists, but the artists, regular artists, chefs, cooks, whatever, businesses, whatever, all that represents the city of Orlando. We need that. We need to have a big event where we celebrate the voice of Orlando. We need that. So anybody with ideas, please hit up the comment box, email me, continue to take this conversation past this show, and let's make it happen, man. Our city deserves it. Our story needs to be heard, and this is our motherfucking sound. Now, the next guest I got coming on tonight represents that kind of sound. He is an indie goat, as referred to. He's been on multiple projects. He's an MC. For all my MCs out there, when we talk about these lyrics, bars, bringing them bars back, he represents that whole cloth. He is one of the up-and-coming artists coming out of GA. Give it up one time for the MC, the MC's MC, John Jigg. What's good?
Yo, what up, man?
Man, pleasure to have you on the show, brother. What's good?
Man, everything's good, man. I cannot complain, bro.
Man, pleasure to have you on the show tonight.
Hey, man. Appreciate you having me.
Yeah, bro. I always love having my MCs on, and talking about lyrics and the stories that the MCs could tell. If these MCs could talk,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
You guys tend to create relationships of all sorts. You guys are the conduit that kind of brings all of these people together to make something happen. When it comes to this rap music, when it comes to this hip hop, without the MC, sometimes there is no projects.
Yeah.
There's instrumental albums. Shit. It's just a club with no lyrics. Talk about, what drove you to MCing? Like, how did that become your calling, if you will?
Well, I would say, I mean, it's been something that I've been involved in since I was a kid, probably like 11 or 12 years old. I remember when Crisscross came out. I don't know if y'all remember Crisscross. If y'all remember Crisscross when they came out, I don't know. I kind of took a liking to that, the idea of kids rapping. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Shout out to Crisscross and that whole jump movement. How about that?
I think one of them passed away too, so rest in peace.
Yeah, rest in peace. Yes.
But I remember that was like the first thing that really put the battery in my back. I always loved hip hop, you know what I'm saying, listen to it, stuff like that. But when I saw that, that's when I actually started to write rhymes. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I would write my little raps and then get on the bus in the morning and spit it. It became a popularity thing too as well. Like, at that time, not everybody was able to rap. You understand what I'm saying? So
and give people a perspective of where you're talking about. Where was this at?
Oh, I grew up in New York. You know what I'm saying?
Long Island?
Yeah, I grew up on Long Island. Yeah.
Shout out to LI. Shout out to that whole movement over there. Is different over there. People move different. People sound different. Like, that's just different over there. Continue.
AKA Strong Island. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So, growing up there, just growing up in New York, growing up in the tri-state area, the East Coast, hip hop is just going to be a part of, just the lifestyle and the culture, you know what I'm saying? And, I started off with that, the rhyming as a youngster. Then when I got to high school, started to take it a little bit more serious. That's probably like the first time I ever went to the studio. I was like probably 16 years old or something like that. And, it's just always been something I've done. And, once I became a little bit older, became an adult, I kind of took it more serious, like, more like as a profession instead of just a hobby, you know what I'm saying? And
right.
It's been a hell of a ride, man. I've been, I've been putting it down for a long time, and, it just feels good to finally get some light, finally, get recognized for some of the hard work that I've been putting in,
Right. Well, like you said, you felt like, okay, I'm going to take it seriously now. What was that point? What was that moment? Like, what was the catalyst that said to you, just say no part-time lover shit, just some everything shit? What was that moment? What made that happen?
To be honest, is the birth of my oldest son. He's 13 now. You know what I'm saying? Well, he'll be 13 in June. You know what I mean? But once he was born, and I'm like, okay, so this music stuff is taking me out of the house. It's taking money out of the house. So I got to figure out a way to make money off of it. You understand what I'm saying? It's
right.
Time away from my family. It's taking, you know what I'm saying? So I got to spend money for studio time. I got to spend money for this. I got to spend money for that. So I figure, okay, it's time to turn this hobby into a business. You know what I'm saying? Right. And I didn't figure it. It's not like I figured it out right away. You know what I'm saying? But through trial and error, I was able to, put together. I was able to, I would say blaze a trail for myself, for lack of a better word.
Right. You were talking about Long Island and, the legacy of Long Island. What were some of your inspirations coming out of Strong Island?
Well, definitely. At first, I got to give it up to my mentor, Granddaddy IU. You know what I'm saying?
Oh man, shout out to Granddaddy IU, bro. Let's go.
Definitely always believed in me and pushed me to do better. And he always put a lot of instilled a lot of jewels in me. You know what I'm saying? I met him pretty early in my career, and he always has gone out of his way to help me. Besides that, I'll definitely like Rakim. You know what I'm saying? Rakim is like a huge, he literally changed hip hop. He changed the way MCs rap. You know what I'm saying? Right. And we hold him very near and dear, in Long Island, because he's like, you know, he's arguably the greatest MC of all time. You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
he comes from the same soil that I come from. So, you know, that's something that we take serious. And I would say definitely like EPMD. Definitely EPMD, especially like Parrish. You know what I'm saying? Parrish is another one who always went out of his way to help me. You know what I'm saying? Wherever he could. And I would definitely say Keith Murray. At a time, I remember Keith Murray was like, when I was coming up, when I was a youngster, Keith Murray was huge. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, and you know, for us to be able to watch TV and see him in that Most Beautiful Sting video dancing on top of that Lexus, that was monumental for us on Long Island. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Man, bro, you saying some shit, man. Shout out to Keith Murray. I'm still trying to get his ass on the show.
Yeah,
We're still trying to coordinate a date. But yeah, man, that's you speaking truth to power. To have people from your city represent from your part of life, represent and speak to you, like speak, sound like you probably went to the same stores you went to. That shit is everything, right?
Yeah, no, definitely. It definitely does a lot for the morale and the other artists in the city that haven't quite made it there yet. Just to see that, you know what I'm saying, is very inspirational. You know, even fast forward to like newer artists, like even like a Rock Marciano, you know what I'm saying? Who's
Shout out to Rock.
Yeah, I mean, that you can't get no, when you talk about underground hip hop, you can't get no higher than that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
He literally wrote the book on what everybody's doing right now. And he also comes from Long Island. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, there's always been, you know, these examples and these pillars of what it's supposed to be. And I kind of feel like Long Island, we pioneer a lot of things, but we don't end up staying to receive the spoils of it. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
So
well, you said Rakim, and he's still reaping. You said PMD.
No, absolutely. And to be honest, a lot of the legends, you know what I'm saying, they're still out here doing their thing. But I don't always feel like Long Island as a whole gets that recognition like like a Brooklyn or a Queens, or you understand what I'm saying? And I mean, we have just as much history, and you know, and we have just as much stock in the game as anywhere else. You understand what I'm saying?
But maybe, and I'm just saying, maybe it is because Long Island wears a different kind of crown. Maybe it's Long Island. When people think of Long Island, they think of wealthy.
Oh yeah.
It's not fair.
Yeah.
Right? But they think of wealthy.
Yeah, no, they think of vacation spot,
grass area, grass, a backyard,
trees, and you have a backyard, and and all of those things exist. You know what I'm saying? But I, you know, anybody who grew up in Long Island can tell you we got some places you do not want to be.
Oh no doubt.
Dark. You know what I'm saying?
I think that it tends to happen to a lot of
different
places in which, you know, if there's will to do there might be some dope ass MCs all day long in Hollywood, but you know, people gonna rock with Compton more. People gonna rock with Watts more, you know.
Yeah. That's respect. That makes a lot of sense. You know what I'm saying? It is the kind of the positioning of where you are geographically, and this that what people think. And you know, a lot of people don't know that we have hoods and depressed areas until they come and they see, because obviously anywhere, like you was just about to say, anywhere where you have extreme wealth, you're gonna have extreme poverty. It's just
that part. I was down in Miami 2 days ago, and you know, I thought homelessness was out of hand in Orlando. That shit that shit could populate that. You could make a whole city out of the homeless in Miami, and they're under bridges, tents everywhere. I mean, it looks crazy for all the wealth and everybody doing the get down and coming up. There's extreme poverty in Miami as a result of that. To your point.
No, I totally understand. I mean, I live in Atlanta now, and same thing. You know, you go, you know, underneath the bridges, there's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people. Just, you know what I'm saying? And you know, the warmer weather states, that tends to happen because we have a longer the weather is nicer for a longer period of time. So that
Right.
we tend to have a higher population of homeless people. Like if you go to LA, they got the most nice weather for for the year. They got nice weather for like 7 months out of the year. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that's why they have the most homeless people. You understand what I'm saying? Because they don't have to worry about it getting cold or it's snowing, or you know what I'm saying?
Right. Well, and to your point, people tend to gravitate or resonate with uh, poverty, with
Oh
the
yeah.
idea of coming from some place that there's no way you come out. Like everybody applauds the heroes, right?
Oh
That
yeah.
to come up and
Def-
come out of
Definitely
extreme
love a good
shit.
people love a good rags to riches story.
Right. And so the Bronx,
Yeah,
Queens,
yeah,
Brooklyn, they take those crowns because Staten Island, Long Island,
yeah,
in some circles could be viewed as not as rough.
yeah. Not as rough. Yeah, no, I totally get it. I
And but
totally.
to be fair though, um, that tends to make a lot of great artists because
Oh, yeah,
that puts a chip on your shoulder
yeah,
in that, Public Enemy, they had to come out with a fucking cause.
yeah,
You,
yeah.
they were rebelling against the very thing they probably lived amongst, which was that.
Yeah,
There were people, like the Wu-Tangs and shout out to the JVC Force and and all of these people that were, just trying to say, hey, bro, I know we black in Long Island, but we still black.
yeah,
And
yeah.
that shit is truth.
Nah, it's the truth. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, and there's other. I'm sure that there's other people that can identify with that. Not just people from Long Island, but like you said, Staten Island. I'm sure there's some people in Connecticut that feel the same way. People in
Right.
some small towns in Jersey. You know, just
Right.
it just the kind of the way it is. But like you said, it does. It made me. I know it. I know me personally. It made me go way harder because coming up in Long Island and being an artist in Long Island, you have to go to New York City in order to really make a name for yourself. You know what I'm saying? And that made me go, I was at every showcase, I was at every open mic, I was shutting that shit down, and they were gonna remember who I was before I left. And that's just the kind of
And describe that for a minute. Describe what that is to go to the city
yeah.
and be amongst that kind of pressure. Give people an idea of what that's like.
So depending on where you live on Long Island, you could be looking at an hour to 2 hours of travel to get to New York City. You could take the train, you could drive, whatever. I mean, in the beginning, I was taking the train and I was riding the subway, and then I was walking blocks and blocks and blocks to get to where I had to go because that's how bad I wanted it. You know what I'm saying? And then when you get in there and you see, you in front of a whole bunch of new people in New York. We all know New York can be one of the toughest crowds ever. You know,
Right.
they're gonna let you know if they're not feeling you, and they might let you know, or they might not let you know if they are feeling you. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of what you up against. And New Yorkers, they too cool to really. You're not gonna get them to really, really, really wild out. You know what I'm saying? I've seen the
Right.
biggest artists perform in New York City, and people will be into it, but they're not gonna like wild out like they do when you perform down south or you perform out west. You know,
Why do you think is that?
that's just
Why?
that's just that. I mean, as far as New York, man, you're just not supposed to be moved by anything. You're just not supposed to be you're just not supposed to be easily impressed. You know what I'm saying? And that's
Right.
even if you are impressed, you got to kind of hold that in because it's like you always got to be like on. It's like in New York, it's like you always got to be like on guard, and you always got to have this shell, and you always got to be cool, calm. You should never ever be like out of control. Out of what I'm saying. So that's
Well, that doesn't bode well. That doesn't bode well for the artist. Now, does it?
yeah, yeah, yeah. And then you got the dudes that's getting money. So they looking at you like, yo, okay, you a rapper, but I'm getting money too. You know what I'm saying? And you got all these different things, you know what I'm saying? But
Right.
as far as like what you said about, going into New York City, like I said, and then you go up there, and they say, John Jiggs or so and so from Long Island, already that's like, oh, this is Long Island shit, yada yada. So I always had to fight through that. I always had to be 10 times better than everybody else because of the Long Island thing.
Right.
So
Do
I got
you think? Do you think? What?
out.
Go ahead. No, continue.
Now
No,
I
go
was
ahead.
gonna out rap, outperform, outdo everybody because I already got this one strike against for some reason in their mind I can't possibly be good because I'm from Long Island. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
that was one thing. I mean, it's not something I had to deal with for too long because once people got to see what I could do and my name started to circulate, then I started to get that respect. You understand what I'm saying? But in the beginning, it was a fight, you know what I'm saying? And that always had to be. And it's like that, and it's not just like that with music. It's like that with the streets too. Like if you out there and you moving around, like you got to be able to hold that down. And you can't be sticking out like looking around like a tourist. You know what I'm saying? Because
Right.
you know what I'm saying, that's what you're going to be.
How difficult is the MC game from your perspective in New York, and to kind of stay up with, especially this new New York? Shout out to Doo Wop. He always says the old New York and the new New York. There's a new New York, and so is that new New York different in the regards of how they look at MCs, or is it still the same?
Well, one thing about I would say it's a little different now. I mean, the late '90s, early 2000s in New York City was, we was on street corners battling, and you would go to the club, and you would go to the club, and then outside in the parking lot, it's a battle. Everybody's battling. I don't see that as much anymore. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that that's as important as it. I mean, it used to be where you could battle and get a deal. You know what I'm saying? Like literally get like if you was battling in front of the right people, you could literally get a record deal right there. That's how
Right,
that's how Shine got signed. That's how my song got signed. That's how I can name a bunch of other rappers that they got signed just from battling in
right,
front of or in front of whoever. You know what I'm saying? I
right.
definitely think that that's going on anymore. I think the new New York is it's not as the lyrics aren't as important. You know what I'm saying?
So, what does that say for you as an artist, as an MC? You hear it all the time, or stories from artists, producers, what have you. Do you have to dumb it down for the listener?
I mean, it depends on what your aim is. If you're trying to make it in this mainstream world and you want to be on the radio, you want to be on Hot 97 and Power 105, and you want to be, you're looking to win in that world, then yeah, you're gonna have to dumb it down. You're gonna have to get on the trap beat. You're gonna have to do this. You're gonna have to do that. You know what I'm saying? You might have to do some stuff that you didn't think you would have to do. But the beauty of 2021 is you don't need to win in a commercial space to win. You know what I'm saying? So now you can just cultivate your own little fan base and have your own little following, you know what I'm saying, and go direct to consumer, you know what I'm saying, and you can find that niche of people that really do want to hear lyrics and don't want to hear you dumb down or don't want to hear you rap to the same type of beat that everybody else is rapping to. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Um
Is that it? Does that help you as an artist,
Absolutely.
knowing that that's a space in which you can travel, but there's more work involved? And I say more work because I'm being funny. Uh, both require work,
Both do.
but one of the work is it's kind of soul beating, while the other one is more like I can't take a break. So, you know, how what say you about artists that choose to go the latter and like yourself say, you know what, I know I ain't gonna get no sleep, I know I ain't gonna be able to do everything I want to do,
Yeah.
you know, and I know it's probably going to be a rougher road, but in the end, I'm going to be happier. What
Yeah.
say you about the value of that versus the
Well,
former?
I mean, the value of it is, I feel like one the way that I'm going, I would definitely say that it holds a lot more longevity. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Um, I've seen so many artists go into that mainstream world. I've seen so many artists go into that mainstream world, and then they're hot for a couple of years, and then that's it. You know what I'm saying? And the game, chew you up and spit you out. You know what I'm saying? But when you in a position like I am, and you can continue to come improve and get better, and constantly just continue to work, and you have control over the situation, then to me you have a better chance of staying. And at the end, you never have to lose who you are. You never have to create this fake image, or this image that they want, this image that they want, that the record label tells you to do, you know. um
So to be clear,
mhm.
what is a fake image to you?
I see, I don't know, like, rappers that are on on a mainstream level personally, but I'm quite sure that not all of them are exactly are what they're showing you. You understand what I'm saying? And I think some of that uh comes from the powers that be. I feel like they're made to show these kind of images and things like that. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of different, I won't go into like exact detail, but there's a lot of things that you see in the mainstream world that just don't seem right. And I think a lot of these things are positioned that way. You know what I'm saying? I think they're telling I think these artists are being made to do these things, or maybe they feel like they have to do these things just to maintain that type of, like, I mean, right now it's more about how much attention you can garner, no matter how you garner it, rather than how good how good your music is. A hits are manufactured now. It's not about, oh, somebody just dropped. No, it's not about somebody going into the studio and making magic anymore. It's literally about who has the biggest bag to drop on the record. You understand what I'm saying? If
Right.
you got unlimited money, then you can make a hit. A hit's gonna come. If you have the right look, and you have unlimited funds to keep dumping into that record or whatever, the hit is gonna come. You know what I'm saying? So that's what that world will offer you. And if you're able to work to strive that world, and it works for you, then more power to you. Some of the music is actually okay. You know what I'm saying? But for me, I just always wanted to be in control of my destiny, and I never wanted to put something out there, that's not authentic. You know what I'm saying? Pretty much.
Right. And I think that that is dope because for people that have even a slight hint of who the fuck they are,
Hmm.
they tend to go a lot longer and maintain
Yeah,
the integrity of their artwork a lot longer. People remember people for taking stands and
exactly.
not following, and so that's a beautiful thing. Talk about MCing. What makes your style stand out? Why are you different?
Um, I think. Well, I definitely feel like I definitely feel like I've been able to show a lot of different versatility. You know what I'm saying? If you listen to my projects, there's always a wide range of subject matter, and different types of vibes on my projects. You know what I'm saying? Um, also too, I would say that definitely, like, my flow, the metaphors, my vocabulary. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Being able to flip and bounce syllables, and I'm just always trying to do something cutting edge, because I listen to a lot of music. So I'm always trying to do something that they're not doing. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And
Right.
I would definitely just say, period, like, you know, as an MC, just the work ethic, you know what I mean? Just continuing to keep quality music out there, you know what I'm saying, and keeping quality visuals out there, and traveling and going on the road, and you know, giving people good performances. And you know, I really, when you, if you follow my career, you can tell that I care. You could tell that I give a damn.
Right. What is important to you? Um, the content of your lyrics, the song, or the production? For a lot of people, they work from different starting points. Like for a lot of people, you know, certain rappers, you know, they can't write a song or write any lyrics until the beats show up. For other artists, it's different. They have the whole music in their head. They know exactly what, you know, how to match those lyrics to whatever they're trying to do. And then you also have artists that they need to be produced. They
Yeah.
need to have the whole kind of concept of making it a song. What say you on the idea of artists being who they are in either one of those? Because I have a feeling like, for me, if you're a songwriter and you're trying to make a song, then normally sometimes it does require other people to be involved.
Yeah.
And that could be hooks, that could be, you know, the producer actually producing you, not just sliding you a beat. But
Well,
there's a lot of these purists out here.
let me just say, I've never gotten help on a hook, but I really wish I could get somebody to help me in there every now and then, because you know, sometimes I get stuck. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Um, Sometimes I do get stuck. You know what I'm saying? I wish I did have somebody around that was really, really good at just coming up with hooks on the spot like that. You know,
Right.
I'm pretty good myself, but you know, sometimes I run into roadblocks or whatever. Um, to answer the first part of your question, to be honest, like, it happens all different ways for me. I would say that probably 80% of the time when the magic happens, though, it's because I'm in the studio and I'm listening to beats, and then something, I hear something, and you know, for me it's automatic. As soon as I hear the beat, and I'm very picky when it comes to production, but when I hear it, I know. You understand what I'm
Right. Right.
right away? It's undeniable, and I'm all, before I even consciously thinking about it, I'm already putting together the record. You know,
Right.
I wake up and I heard a beat and I'm already writing. By the time I realize that I'm in the middle of writing it, we already 8 bars in, we already 10 bars in, because it started flowing automatically, and that's how I know what you know, that's how I know what I'm supposed to be rapping on and what I'm not supposed to be. Because if it doesn't speak to me in that way right away, I'm gonna say, go ahead, go to the next one. You feel me?
Right. Right.
So
Uh,
yeah, so now there are times when I might just have some bars in my head or whatever, or I might just have something on my mind and maybe I don't have a beat, and I'm gonna get those bars out the way just because I don't want to forget it or whatever, and I'm gonna get that down, and then maybe I'll find a beat later on that it goes to, or maybe I'll use it for a feature or whatever the case is. You know what I'm saying?
right.
Yeah,
Okay. That makes sense.
yeah.
What you made several appearances that I seen on Sirius XM. What was that experience like?
It's awesome, man. I mean, I remember the very first time going up there, you know, and I was super, super excited. You know, they give you the little stick, the little ticket with your name on it. You know, you got to check in at the security desk and they give you the little ticket with your name on it. You know, it's got your name, you know, so that's cool. It says Sirius on it. It says who you're there to see, that type of thing. And then you get upstairs in the Sirius building and they got your name up on the welcome. We welcome John Jigg, like that. You know, I'm not used to stuff like that.
Dope.
That's like really
Dope.
cool, you know, and then to get in there and you know, having gone up there a few times now, you know, it's not as exciting, but it's still, you still get those butterflies, you know what I'm saying? Because it's live.
Right.
There's no, you know what I'm saying? There's no, you know, there might be a couple seconds delay, but for the most part, it's live. You know what I'm saying? So
Now, yeah, I was gonna say real quick. You hear Funk Master Flex say it all the time. The whole corny rappers come up here with 15 takes.
yeah,
I love
yeah,
how he says it. It's just
yeah,
it's completely and utterly hilarious. But
yeah.
you seen how Black Thought came up here?
Yeah.
Get your shit together. So like, is there pressure to do
it's
that?
true. I never had that luxury. Like anytime you see me go up there killing it or whatever, there was no, that's it. That's one take Jig. That's it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
There's no time for that there. Like I guess when you go see Funk Flex, you probably got all the time in the world to get it right. Because I've heard the stories of guys going over and over and over and over again just to get it right. And shout out to them because they get that opportunity to perfect it. But with me, it was anytime I was up there, it was like, yo, you better go and you better do it right the first time, But I'll see. I'm the type of dude. I like the pressure. Like I like pressure like that. Like that.
Right.
I'm the type. Like I was telling you about those early trips to New York City and all of that stuff. Like that built me for stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? When you absolutely have to get it right that first time and you can't make any mistakes when there's no room for error. I live for that type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because when you conquer it, nothing compares to the high. When you got one shot and you nail it, after it's over, that's like the greatest feeling in the world. You know what I'm saying? Those are the type of things that I thrive in. And then I also shout out to my manager Digital because he also used to put me in a lot of and at the time I used to hate when he would do it, but I understand it now because he really did train me to be able to work in high pressure situations and keep my composure. The first time I ever got to go into the studio with PMD from EPMD, he didn't even tell me that we were going to see PMD. You understand what I'm saying? So I just hop in the whip. He takes me to the studio, and PMD is sitting there, and Charlie Murata is sitting there. You know what I'm saying? And it was like, yo, we need, then they play the beat and it's like, yo, we need you to get on this. You got like 15, 20 minutes. You know what I'm saying? So I had to sit there and write the verse of my life in 15 minutes and then go in there and rap it like I knew it already. You know what I'm saying? And I'm looking at my manager like, yo, what the fuck, bro? You know what I'm saying? Why did you say it? But in my mind, but now it's like that shit, I'm not scared of anything now. You know what I'm saying? If I do that, or if I can go up on Sirius and just let it run like that, then there's not really anything that's gonna spook me out at that point. You know what I'm saying?
Now I want to use Black Thought as an example.
Mm-hmm.
When Black Thought goes into a hot 97. Now I'm not going to talk about the songs. I'm not going to talk about the features. Just talking about that one moment in which he almost defied certain ideas of memory.
Yeah.
Because MCs, I don't care who you are, there's some sort of magic or marvel that MCs can recall not only words but phrases of stuff they may have written down 20 years ago. Talk about how your memory is. Do you remember all your rhymes? Do you remember everything you've ever wrote? Or are you able to recall things on the fly to extend time, if you will?
I can recall. I'm not good. I would be a liar if I sat here and said I remember everything I wrote because I do a lot of work. I do a lot of features. I do a lot, so I don't remember everything. Some stuff, if some stuff you played for me, I'd have to hear it at least a few times in order to get it down. You know what I'm saying? But in that moment, I'm always just coming up on the East Coast, coming up in New York, just like I'm sure just like Black Thought, you had to have that clip. You had to have that clip ready. You know what I'm saying? At least 32, 48, 60 bars you had to have. You understand? In order, just because you never know when you would get tested. When I walked into my high school in the morning and I stepped in that lobby, I didn't know what was coming.
Right.
I didn't know who was coming with what. You know what I'm saying? So it was always like, yo, you had to be prepared for that because if you get caught slipping, then you whack for the day. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
That's the last thing you want to be.
It's tough when you're talking about emceeing in the grand scheme of things in a world now in which 10% of the world got to be motherfucking MCs now. Like, and that's crazy.
Yeah, nah, it's good. But that's the thing. I don't call them MCs though. Not everybody's an MC.
Right.
You know,
and I get
somebody
that.
dudes that just
Right.
rap. You know what I'm saying? And that's okay too. I mean, we always had dudes that was you always had you always had a Rakim, you always had like a young MC or whatever you know what I'm saying? You always had that balance, you know what I'm saying? And there's nothing wrong with that. I think that's what makes the culture beautiful is that everybody gets represented in a way. You understand what I'm saying?
Right. Do you think the newer MCs, do they respect the art of emceeing the way your generation does? Do you feel like because they're in this new world, we have the battle leagues where now everything has become no beat now, which in revenge to the to the world eliminating the MC and the DJ, I call that karma, bitch. But to be fair, it's just, a lot of people out here, when it comes to MCing, in a world in which, like you said, lyrics don't matter. How much of your story can you tell and ride that line, if you will? I'm just saying, I'm asking you as an MC, like, how much story you have to omit before you're no longer even there?
Well, I mean, to be fair, I would say if you think about the top rappers, they MCing. Think about the top rappers, and if you want to say like a Drake or Kendrick or J. Cole or even like Lil Baby, like to me he's rapping. You know what I'm saying? It's
Right.
melodic, but if you listen, he's rhyming. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I mean, even Dub Baby, you know what I'm saying? To me, he gets busy. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It might be a different cadence, a different, and so
that's a whole nother argument. And that's a whole nother argument.
Yeah. Nah, I think I really feel like if you're talented enough, you can literally be successful. You can literally be successful in one of those top mainstream artists and still keep your integrity. I've never heard Kendrick Lamar make a song that sounded like it was outside of who he was.
Can you say that one more time? The kids just got off the bus. Can you go ahead and say that one more time, buddy?
Oh, okay. I said, I've never heard Kendrick Lamar make a song that sounded like it was outside of him. Like I've never heard him make a song that sounded like maybe he didn't want to make it or somebody pushed him to make it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I've never heard even Drake. Like, I mean, a lot of obviously there's songs that he doesn't rap at all, but when he does rhyme, he's dope. He's nice. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So and then even before, if we want to talk about the generation even before, Jay-Z got a lot of flack for being commercial and what have you. But who's out rapping Jay-Z? Let's be honest. I'll wait. You know what I'm
saying? And Jay-Z, for all intents and purposes, did not do his greatest work until he stopped being the commercial. Because a lot of the newer work that he's done sounds more liberated than he was when he was at his peak of height.
You know what it is now, that corporate he has so much money that he doesn't have to rap. So now he can literally rap about whatever he wants to, and there's no strings attached, there's no corporate nothing. He can literally be like, here, this is all I got, take it or leave it. Right.
And that's where every artist strives to be.
Yeah, that financial independence is where he is right now. So it doesn't matter. That's why you can't buy a Jay-Z verse. He's only going to get on your record if he likes your record and he feels like doing it. That's it. Right. You can't even say, yo, here, Jay-Z, I got $1 million. Can you get on my record? He could probably still tell you no. You understand what I'm saying? So 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 that's the thing. That's where every artist wants to get. You know what I'm saying? To that point where they don't have to. They literally can just go in there and do whatever feels right to them. You know what I mean? But even we could even talk about like somebody like a 50 Cent. Now he wasn't the most lyrical, but to me, still a great MC, and at the same time was able to make a record that resonated in the clubs and on top 40 radio and things like that. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like if you're talented enough, you can straddle that line and do both. You
Dope.
understand what I'm saying?
Dope.
You have to have number one, you have to have that machine behind you, and number two, you have to be that talented and that versatile.
Right. We also live in an age where you don't necessarily have DJs that may co-sign you or radio to constantly be on in that regard. Talk about what that is like as an artist to know in a lot of ways, especially if you're an independent artist, that you're on your own.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I definitely have done most of the heavy lifting when it comes to my career. Let me say that first. But I do have, but I was blessed to even have DJs like when we talk about even my relationship with Kid Capri. You know what I'm saying? Kid Capri at a time when nobody really knew about me, he put me on his platform and showed the world and gave me a chance, just told me to rap.
Dope. Shout out to Kid Capri.
Yeah, shout out to Kid Capri. That was a real thing he did. You know what I'm saying? He kind of, and I'm looking, I'm hanging out with him. I don't know he gonna tell me to rap. I'm looking at his live feed. He got his Periscope going, he got his Instagram going, he got Facebook going, whatever else, Twitter going. It is like literally 10,000 people watching.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And he's like, yo, go ahead. You know what I mean? And that type of stuff just doesn't, it only happens on TV and storybooks, you know what I'm saying? But I've been blessed to have, like I spoke about IU and I spoke about PMD and I spoke about, there's other people who have helped me along the way. And I like to think that that's because they saw me working hard on my own and wanted to help me. So that's the thing. A lot of artists be kind of standing around waiting for somebody to go, here, I'm gonna help you. You know what I'm saying? But I think I think that you'll get a better off chance of somebody helping you when they already see you trying to help yourself, and maybe you just need a little boost.
Right. Right.
Will be more likely to be like, you know what? Look at this brother, man. He's carrying this. He's pushing this whole car by himself. Let me just give him a little hand. You know what I'm saying? Rather than me just standing there behind the car like this. You understand? Right. Waiting for somebody to come and help me. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely feel some artists' pain when they say they're not getting any help, because even with all of that help, it's still been easy. I mean, it's still been hard, but I definitely appreciate them for what they did or try to do,
Right. Shout out to Jesse Jazz on the ticket. He's like, dude, is he from Long Island? The man said he's from Strong Island, brother.
Strong Island, yeah. If he knows Long Island, I grew up in Riverhead, man, but I lived all over Long Island, man.
Shout out to Riverhead. Let's go.
Yeah, shout out to Riverhead, man. What up?
So you got a few projects that you've done already. What can the world expect from John Jiggs in 2021?
2020. Well, if they've been following me thus far this year, I just put out a monster project.
Talk about it.
Yeah, it's called The Madness. It's a project I did. It's a project I did with a producer from Amityville. He's also from Long Island, named BP. He's worked with a lot of different artists like Tragedy Gaddafi and Nature and RJ Payne. He's got a lot of different credits under his belt like that. And we've actually known each other for about I would say probably since like 2016, something like that. And we always talked about working, but I've been crazy on my grind. I know he had been busy with some projects too. So when we finally got a chance to really link up and put everything to the side, I took a flight up to New York, You know what I'm saying? And we literally knocked this project out in like, I would say like 2.5 days, maybe.
Oh wow.
And that's the thing about me. Like when I get it, once I get in the studio, if the vibe is right, like I could do that shit, like I could do that forever. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
The vibe
Right.
is like we'll worry about the sleep and all of that stuff later. And I BP was actually like, yo, bro, I gotta get some rest, man. I can't, you know what I'm saying?
Right. Right.
But I was still sitting there like, yo, what do you mean? You know what I'm saying? But that's just
Shout out to all my nocturnal fools out here, man.
that's how much music excites me. You know what I'm saying? Once I get and I might be tired, but I won't worry about the sleep until we done. You know,
Right.
but
And so,
yeah,
what's the name of the project?
the name of the project is called The Madness. It's good. We got 10 tracks on there. I got Rascast on there. Shout out to
Shout out to
Rascast.
Raz. Yeah, he was on the show a couple weeks ago. Yeah,
Yeah.
shout out to Razcast.
Salute, man. That's like lyrical supremacy right there. To be able to share the same mic with somebody like that is a blessing. That's the reason why I rhyme, because and I love to rhyme with people like that because it always pushes me to do better, be greater and greater.
Yes, sir.
Rascast, shout out to my brother Afro. Afro is on the project.
Shout out to Afro. He's been on the show too, man.
Yeah.
Man,
Yeah.
yes.
Word, shout out to Afro. And we just put out the video. Me and him just put out the video last week, doing really well. Shout out to King Magnetic. You know what I'm saying? Got my brother King Magnetic on the project. Shabam Sadiq. Shout out to my brother Double S. You know what I'm saying? My boy Diabolic. You know what I'm saying? Who actually played a major role in this project because he's the one that actually introduced me and BP to each other. Is Diabolic. So, yo, big shout out to Diabolic. You know what I'm saying? I got him on a record. Him and King Magnetic on a record called 44th Chamber on the project too. That's like of a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just, I'm excited about all the reception, the great love that we've been getting. Like we've been, I've already gotten a few reviews and everything has been like stellar, like better than I ever expected for people, the way people are accepting this record, man. And I've been
it helps that it was a quarantine, goddamn it.
Oh yeah.
Everybody's been sheltered in a way that they probably, are gonna probably be recovering for the next 2 years of that kind of shit. And right now, this is the perfect time to do music. Everybody and their mama is listening. They got their ears wide open for what's going to encapsulate this whole time period.
Yeah.
And bro, you're blessed to have this moment in time to be dropping anything.
Yeah.
Is the world going to hear it in a different way?
Nah, that's real. And to be honest with you, that's part of the reason why I named the project The Madness too, because I really wanted to sum up what we've been going through for the past 12, 13 months. You know what I mean? I really feel like it's been utter madness, from the riots to, just people getting sick and people dying and the hospitals being overfilled. And it's just madness, you know what I'm saying? And I felt like if you listen, there's all these different emotions on the project that I feel like people can really relate to, because there was some time where I felt like a prisoner in my own head, man. You know what I'm saying? So other people probably felt like that too, because we're not used to just, stay in the house. You can't go nowhere. Or, you got to be in the house by 7. Like this is America. We're not used to that. You know what I'm saying? Or, just not being able to go anywhere and, everything is contactless this and contactless that. Like, I'm a real person. Like I like real dialogue. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to talk to somebody on the screen. I want to go and sit down with them and have a conversation. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It is. You know what I'm saying? So it just take a big adjustment.
How did COVID impact you?
I mean, I'm gonna start off with the positives. I try to always think positive about everything. So, I would say the positive side of it was definitely like, it definitely gave me a chance to like sit my ass down a little bit and like spend more time with my family, you know what I'm saying, and really bond. And you know what I'm saying, because sometimes you be out there chasing money and you spend so much time out there grinding trying to take care of your family that you don't actually get the time to spend with them. You know what I'm saying? That was one thing, because I'm the type, especially when I have a project out, I'm always somewhere performing. I'm always somewhere at somebody's radio show. I'm always traveling. I'm in the air 2-3 times a month, easy. You understand what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
So when the pandemic came and we just had to kind of sit and what I'm saying, it gave me a chance to really do that. We had just moved into a new home and I hadn't really spent too much time in my own house that I work for. You understand what I'm saying? So
Right.
that felt good just to sit and watch TV and just relax. You know what I'm saying?
Dope, man.
Um,
Dope.
and then also too, like I was having trouble getting in the studio, so I got myself some studio equipment. That was another plus. Like you said, the streaming numbers definitely went up. You know what I'm saying? Because people got more time to sit around and listen. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I just used that as an opportunity also to just stockpile content. You know what I'm saying? Get my content together, and that's what's the beauty of the rest of this year is gonna be, because now I get to just release. I got a bunch of stuff that's already completed and just ready to go. So
Dope, man. Dope.
listen.
I think that's amazing, man, because, for a lot of people, it's a mixed bag. You take your lumps and, you take your toys and you just try to figure things out. As we step into this new year, we're 3 months in already. It's
Yep.
flying.
Yep.
You're about to see, the gates open and performing and people getting out of the cages
Mhm.
and wanting to hear and be a part of everything event. Um, do you see yourself in this orgy of entertainment, if you will?
Yeah, nah. I mean,
It's good for business, man. I mean, business was shut down a year damn near. So
yeah,
this is your moment. This is y'all's moment right now to kind of
yeah. I mean,
get.
I already got a couple spot dates locked in. Um, if I got anybody tuned in from Dallas, next month we'll be in Fort Worth. I believe that's May 8th at the Rail Club in Fort Worth.
Dope.
We'll be performing there, and then we're gonna be in the Bay. We're gonna be in the Bay, Oakland, May 20th. May 20th, we're gonna be in Oakland. And there's a couple more things coming too. So just look out. Yeah, we about to hit the road because the calls are starting to come in now, especially with this new album out and everything. It's starting to come in. So you're gonna see us everywhere. And I'm
Dope.
all for it. I love that's one thing about me. I love to travel. So, no telling where you might see us. You know what I'm saying?
I heard that. Hopefully, we see you down in the O.
Yeah, I bet. Yo, what's crazy is Orlando. Orlando was actually one of my last shows. I performed at. I actually got a chance to perform at the Amway Center. Uh,
Dope.
the top of last year. It's crazy because actually the same weekend that we lost Kobe. Um,
Wow.
Yeah, it was the same weekend that we lost Kobe. But it was a celebrity basketball game. It was Chris Johnson and I believe Pac-Man Jones and somebody else. I believe it was matter of fact, it was Floyd. Floyd was in on that event too. It was like a celebrity basketball game, and I got to perform at halftime at the Amway Center. That was super dope. And it was like,
Dope.
that was one of the biggest crowds too. It was like 5,000 people there. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So yeah, and that was actually one of the last shows I did before the pandemic. But I got to spend that whole weekend. I enjoyed myself a lot, man. Word.
Man. Awesome, man. One last question before I let you go, man. You've been an incredible guest. We went all over the world as we should about this thing of ours, and you talked about your project. If you had one thing to say to our city and anyone listening right now or will listen in the future, what would that be and why?
Okay. So I okay, so what one thing I would say is for all my artists out there, right? Be careful of following trends and never chase the sound that you hear. You know what I'm saying? Do what feels right to you. You know what I'm saying? And the thing and it may not work. You can't be looking for instant gratification. It may not work for you right away, but if you stick to what you are doing, and you constantly improving and evolving and getting better, then things will start to open up for you. Like I say in the intro to my album, if you keep working hard, you cannot be ignored.
Right.
If you keep going, then somebody eventually is gonna take notice, especially if you're constantly working on improving and getting better at what you do. So that's the number one thing to the artist. And just for the city of Orlando or any city, because every city is the same. You know what I'm saying? It's crabs in a barrel. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Sit here and tell y'all how it's it would be easier if y'all all come together, but y'all know that already. You know what I'm saying? So just be true to yourself. You know what I'm saying? Be true to yourself and who you are. And I promise you, if you keep pushing and you can't keep that tunnel vision, you have to block people out. You got to understand that people, it's like whoever's around you, that's not their dream. That's your dream. So you can't expect them to feel the same way or think the same way that you think about it, because that's your dream. You know what I'm saying? And you have to, and if people aren't in accordance with that, then you have to keep tunnel vision. You have to block them out. I always say, to be in this game, you got to be just a little bit crazy and just a little bit self-centered. You have to.
Well, I can testify to crazy, and with anything in general, hip hop wise, that is the fundamental definition. Crazy, and nothing great came from being normal.
Yeah.
So
absolutely,
I love what you just said, brother. We support y'all here, man. Keep doing your thing. You're always welcome back on the show. We appreciate you, homie. Keep doing it. Don't stop.
Yo.
Hey, everybody out there, go support John Jigg's new project, The Madness.
Let's go. Yo, Orlando, man. I can't wait to come back. Make sure y'all have me out there soon, man. I can't wait to come back to Orlando.
Yes.
I rock with y'all. Great hip hop city. Love Orlando.
Yes.
Yeah.
Talk that shit, bro. We appreciate you. Give it up for my brother from another mother, the one and only John Jiggs. Let's go. Salute. Man, it's so great to have artists like him on the show. This is what we do. It's Friday night. Like to send shots out to my man, Jesse Jazz. If you don't know who the brother is, you better recognize he is the man in town for graphics. If you need any graphic work done, hit up my man, 5stargraphics.com, and go get the design. Now, with all of that said, man, want to wish you guys a great weekend. We will be back next week on Monday. And once again, I want to say, man, we sold out of these. There will be a new batch in next week. They're limited numbers. So support the show. Support your city. This is what we do. Love y'all. Be safe. And this is what we do. Sound of Orlando, baby. Let's go.
Live on stage. The sound
Of Orlando.
So, is they ready? The sound